Omwanchumuri ya bweta TV kera litikolie ikiana na mono litikolie Jumanne chinsa ibira na bego chinsa nye ni otokomera naye elitwa komanyonsi bunakorekanire kurwa chinkongo ao
Nimeye kimanyerero Jumanne na nigora bego kumirana na inche Evelyn Osero
na inche Eric Bosire
tokubwatira nabari kibaito ro kumanyana yabereka watka kurwa se chinsinyo aimesi ya Kenya na se orogongo rwa gusi
nyorobo igontunyara kabatogo twara barayana na mono kurwa sensemelia ya gesiasa komurekeronsi buranyara kabakao korekana ime na isiko yensi ya Kenya
kera litkoria Jumanne imeye kimanyerero Jumanne imeye Taya TV
oborabu wa gusi
Taya TV oborabu wa gusi
Buya kima abono mwanji muri weda television karo cyaragire ustiana jida kakiandazi chinsa ibere chiri tukeriga ya Jumaine jidariki 16 modienyi no 11 mu mwaka kirubine meronke bere naisano karo bona bagani bakira studio yo kwana mange igoro aliarengete siasa aliarengete mangana yebyama akegera bonsi nabana siasa bale nabajukotokonya gucanganwa kumanyana itoro jibunense siasa ya tindire mapema ne byama ngakibikari kwiroberia abango gantwaro de kyamagia ODM ke okora eshere yabo yemyaka 20 ya se county ya Mombasa tokarura mange sana kuroro tokarura abantu batana abantu bakwanire abande nabakwana kena nabakwana buli mangana akaba mange sana bagandroje abarai abo mpanda tawe yakare koko asino ni direction chigendrede asecinsemo abo ibe na isiko ya gusi yondo yakwana manga simambia bone koko ali ngabo 9 nyirandra sensemo mitandao tatu Facebook tatu YouTube abo tutumira uchumbe ya nyinge na yoro kerengeli kyao wetera asijina biggest platform which asimambi yabona manga to discuss kama mona ntukuru bono bakachinga kinyurango nyirina ntora sensemo ye mitandao Facebook tatu TV na YouTube tatu TV yonse nabotonyara platform which asimambi ya apone kaindre kabana ntwe ujumbe yao gutuma ebe ujumbe ungwana kabisa yetabwa fangana ande mangi udakore bero ne chingake tikabantu chake interview asimambi yabone ngarigania bagani bane karibu sana so just studio gekera imanyo dipa kago chimudra ndigonya sawa babwire abana ko bakira yare mugwata ikuba ndigonya sawa babwire engineer na kevo yo karibu sana tochediriane abira tatu engineer ndomete kwararire byage abogo chaka okwani mwananchi tumakorana kutoka uchumasio kaindisa
ndio mano yeah asambali tani engineer Mochoge Justus kuru tutuwa chache gaiga aiga situline constituency yani
yeah
and abantu baminto bo space mu bitasense ya Kenya semo ya gusi bari motegereta YouTube from the diaspora nabariganiri nabakwaniri nabatebiye tiga tokonya na sebirengererio ebuna toko genda kulenda usi yeito na Kenya yeito.
Bia kimo yo ni engineer Justus Mochoge te constituency to ni yae woni otore kitu cha South kigima Kevo, you can say hi.
Mimi na Brighton manaka sasa utaweka nyama mbia hono se geta seriyeta ya TV. Ende engineer na engineer jirani yao tondo kama ngene. Nkoro wanchari na manaka bisa nchoma baba sasa county ya Kisii ande twalika ni abantu bonsi pibali motorigireti wono mambi erinyo tonyare gotwara egikarekia tonyare gosemania asensi to Kenya pero chiko chimoto ngano
abia kema engineer tuzara so sama ngana ite topic ya ri ko yale makato ko ne ko ya ye future ye party state twarode jifat ngo chinji bakara marieta abantu ba chenjiri mtu ya berega twarode ana sika seti ya taifa leo na rabu naso maseking sikete mugavana wa kaunti ya Mombasa Sharif Nasir akareko wadana kuna wanafiki katika chama cha ODM wadana bagende usko inasini asipechinde toma kwa norolengo hata bana serikali jumuishi ukiama ODM toro wachikorana kuna utata lakini ketu kwandabo kukana ndo mpaka by election igende kwa abandi babiri samo dinekyombika IBC na chibura buruchi akire ando skuli yabo kwa rodi katika shawa kare kwa tebali ase mbere note na chikura jiwa ku muntu tamasigo jore magenyo mpaka chikura chawaliro na lecha tangazo ama chikorana bono siasa korra litmus paper tarehe 27 mwezi huu by election kwa katoto kwanda bali tutaraika hapo engineer emotion yabe gatunyamira irengete ko mwaka isiko mugabana kimumu nyaribu nintunda ya gatatu bono what can you say about that wananchi bateke barabona haya tange batika akola agende ngiora kwa na about that one.
Number one, our MCA Banyamira, as per the constitution, they are entitled to bring an impeachment motion against the governor.
Yes.
That Tandiria Machiko, misuse the office, calling an national negotiator impeachment.
Yes.
How to remove the governor from office, a fraudly Machiko Ariavik. So they put all the rights and entitlement to do that. I think the process of doing it, we can work kesa woman kumayana and bako koranikia. Iria kavere. No mine was in a chichava because very yego working the impeachment motion Rajira 3-4 months ago, warrant the end. The required numbers and one of the most very disheartening in Kelina to the rumors that Timba and the State House, Baumerano, Wakai will in the formula how to do it. Wakateguda a ground Vajagokora, and they are actually following the book. I mean, right from State House, ngakiba wende to korane ndo wende kuimbichi nya aliyo.
Rumors into the
whatever the enumerations right clear the rest. So nigende immediately ekarwara oyo nde mheshimiwa nyaliwo awakamba ni mheshimiwa Matiang'i wojia Bondo, so that did not go well because from the national level they expected Mheshimiwa Matiang'i to be isolated even from home.
What do you think that the movie is political?
According to me, and the way I look at it, as much as maybe there are one or two things, chances are there is no governor. What you mind, there is no governor in the Republic of Kenya. Probably you're living to all of them to Kisi to get everywhere. That is the mode of the way governors do their things. Corruption. So probably because of that, they wanted to punish by sending a signal to Matiang'i, we can even come home and raid you at home, and you have no power, you cannot do anything.
Okay. Kita kira-kira dia engineer, by one that engineer artistic rokia so tata. Kira ukuan apa nanti over place kira-kira dia kira tu banyak pengeji kef. What can you say about the impeachment motion about the body yesterday? Today they are discussing it.
I want to thank engineer and family. But again, you realizing Namira has its own problems.
Yes.
And you see, again, we can discuss it from all perspectives.
Yes.
This is the third time.
Yes.
And honestly, as engineer I put across, we live at times politics echo gain motion sana. And being that Nyamira County, Mosikematian in Makori, honestly, we can see it as people ngangaki, the government can want to, commemorate our problems, to the nation in Atawati home support, or you cannot even deal from where it comes from. And at the same time, can it be need obviously depending and recently Nyalivo, bakanda mwae, bakanda chiofis chiae, and I think they are still investigating the matter. So really you can't tell, is it political, is it genuine? Because we are in the political mood as a nation. So anything that happens, we'll just count it political, So really, my word still stands as previous, we are still praying for Nyamira. We are still not tired because we can't tell what's happening. This is not the first time, this is not the second time, this is the third time you get. And honestly, Brighton, I'd engaged some youth forum, Muragete from Nyamira in Nairobi, and they're the same people who are, carrying banners to every office, even to EACC offices. We need Nyaribabuatu, you see. And Tisukirana Kavono, Tatebanitwekemane, Nyariba as much as Savantoma Margaret Chikura, Nerende Tarakaragasia to the fullest, As much as some engineer Tabanga Craig Governor and what the weaknesses, weaknesses each one on this time round. If you have your own weaknesses, go home. Because we want to change the political system in this government or in this nation for so long. So this is not about, to me, it can be the government, it can be whichever channel, but every and any bad leadership should really get out of office.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, man. That's opening remark. Sana katuaja krabu. Jadi kalau tu kau na baru turut kan Nyamira kau na berapa discuss sero. Go see through kira goreba tebet and discussion about para maybe and then bagian dari proses itu orang kau anda.
Try and further than that, they even last time they debated it, they passed it. Again, Nairobi, technicalities. Just because probably they were faking some of the things. So literally, like my young son here, Kevin Yakwanede, Nyamira never had a problem. Yes. I participated in politics in Nyamira for a long time. I was a student of the rated Joshua Nyona. You all know about it. He taught me politics. I moved with him. I used to face him in detention, in jail, those all the days. But when the Nyona team left, Nyamira had a big problem. Including the current political leadership, a year what from members of parliament. When you engage them, sometimes you engage them, you are not engaging in Mosi. Because literally, they're so enclosed with the Nyamira issue. Every time, Nyamira. They don't engage themselves as the Lachagosi. If Kiss is actually part of colonizing Nyamira. And yet, My history teaches me that leadership emerges. Ekera nyona Rengo, we never used to talk about Nyamira. Ekera the rate church Muraga Rengo people, they were just about leaders.
Why engineer do you think that Nyamira got the program? Because you're already Nyamira in terms of leadership. Kisi ume into Rabangaki. Sukurangari Kisi, Abajumbe Barajankianda.
Actually, Kisi not when those are a problem.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Nyamira, Abajumbe Barabane, Roma Senator, Mugumende, no Mugavane, no Matebe, Traja Krab. But then above them, CS elected divided 20. When you compare to Kisi, were elected for 5. Why do you think the Mira Turabake in terms of leadership? A problem.
Number one, the study syndrome, they feel that Kisi is a bigger brother. And therefore they feel anything you can do the Kisi County, then you feel that there are no Monto, you're Kisi, I go to dominate.
Yes.
And yet in terms of Musi, leadership, because even if you talk in terms of clans, the clans are close. For example, from Tiger story, the same woman to the reggae everywhere. So it is the same.
Yeah.
So it is the kind of leadership the leadership bar has gone too low. There are people very leaders, but we don't cover leaders, and therefore they have that inferiority complex that they feel it, and therefore because now even me, I'm a businessman. Even when I go to Nyamira, you raise eyebrows. Upon the answer, I think you Kisi Okora, and yet what you couldn't make sure. Nyamira Kravaguta, some many chicas, Makori covered. They even further go and they indicate that we call word Fran and no Kunyoroge, meaning that if you remember the time, Omboy. Kisi count had almost 50% in the Kisi count, and nobody from Kisi could complain because we are brothers and sisters. In the moment you go step in your mirror, you can't get it. So I think in terms of leadership, generally, we should raise our bar.
And engineer Kevo, Dokoro Jando, who's whatever Quara from Nabasaiba, Yamira, Guarabasa, Babulia Masaka.
I love it, engineer across. You understand, this is something that began to emerge recently.
Yes.
And I can honestly say, Brighton, sometimes Nabongo blame into Avananchi. You know, Avananchi Nyamira no wire at MS Nyamira. You get? Why am I saying that? Leadership, Brighton, it is not about how wealthy Umuntari. It is not about how educated Umuntari. But there are so many qualities Chikonyara could reflect the leadership Yomuntu. And I can honestly say that the current leadership Nyamira, to some extent, never some dots. You get? Because if you consider the political leadership in Nyamira, it is not aligning itself properly to the common mwananchi onyewegete in place. And this is the problem etanyare kwera just by us doing things even to Vigokoru. Engineer, to some extent, I feel in Nyamira, in all those words, civic education should be done. You know, people should be informed. You know, what being a good leader takes. Because if we move this way, if we move with the handouts, we should go to Brighton. Abantu bako complain Nyamira bange by the way nabasa. You get? And we should go to 90% yabarai bachori Nyamira. Mbamenye tino Nyamira. You get? So it even becomes a problem. We solve a problem as otamenyeti. I know most of them wako boka kurbosongo gaya wako wagenda Nyamira. So which is this day umondago chikumanya MS erega rooted nyamaya ground kamenya tebosongo gaiga. You get? And lastly, yes, if you try, you know, to bring some of these things in engineer there, the feeling about you are trying to do what? You are trying to outshine them. And that is not the case. Yeah. All of us are brothers and sisters at the end of the day. So if, and by the way, what they should do now in Kisi County to 30 and 100, before they even go to benchmark far places, we invite them to Kisii so that they can come and benchmark.
Yeah, it to make sure it is extremely new shitting. Is too much. I don't know what the nigga was correct. It's extremely too much. Something that I know fought against.
And the engineer, I come from Nyamira.
Yeah, I know you come from there, and that's what we are telling you.
We are not attacking you.
No. Nyamira kero atebera bagirango. Oskuri Nyamira etuwata bagirango na bagitutu, by the way. Most is because one borabu metero na benga diaspora. Because borabu kero kunyi borabu na ninji na bago na meto because meto borabu ya chete settlement scheme. Engineer understands, I don't understand. Aliwana etore ya chete kwa constituency. Lakini wana Nyamira yona atebire etura bagitutu na bagirango. Most cases, because compared Kisii, Awanjali Mbaro, Wazimbaro, Mochoge Mbaro, much to be in the Jigos Yakuan. But they were never able to go to a level because Pavera never consumed together. I want to weather Bonjali, Bobas, Eva Mochoge, Kinade.
Say to go Kisii count, just read the matches. See that people
maybe they do reading and a Karambo engineer could Yamide, but to Jacarene. Why do you think that Tina, Senator or Mokumende or Rumgavana, to you now Barali? What I can say about Bengali or the common manage. Como Senator Roja Matanga or Mochi. Woman de Bochak Ruboni, Kero Tangas, Rodin, for Hinekavana, Bonajinga Gilmo, Kungo Carabia Swag. No much under much correct. No, in case you count about Tangas again, Paratangas that much. Imagine is the Corona. Makura Kwana about the leaders could I could give him a pem. Because I devote the Avana, Avantavana Conduani. When I want to get emotion, and I'm going to go there and the Gavant of Baliba, the band, Pali, the Corona about the condos. To Coromachando.
Leadership. Yes. The most important thing is leadership. Number one, leadership in your government is extremely worthy. Here there is no question about it. The leadership is extremely wanting. Yes. But in a very more oversight in our oversight, they're not make oversight because they feel they should oversight him. They are oversighting because they've been given a script to follow. Nagenda Makori to serve some vested interest from the national level. So that is a problem was in terms of oversight. Some mangana senator na human rep. I think for them who tangaza mangana you take to govern in advance you kwenda mapema about for script away from the national level. Yes, chikura chair at 2022 Montokoro the president William Ruto tanako Galigo. He has been campaigning throughout. There is no, and you can tell me, there is nobody who remembers that 1 week you take currency obviously. Maybe I can go discuss someone ministers how they need to work, getting reports here and there. The last time Tom more in your ministry than you know. So precisely. So Bono, that is the script you are for. Now, campaign ya chakri, we have the money, we're rooted, so bravo. The campaign for example, Kisii County, we have not seen him on the another get over. People speculate, but nobody will chill come 2027. We can make a answer what you can make about but it does not mean we should be a post. You will be opposed, and there will be somebody, and the competition will be there. Once the competition is over, whoever is elected will still work and have time. Lakini ine the problem to what Nyamira is leadership. Actually, when the Karauma is the senator, senior lawyer, senior counsel.
He needs to
no. In fact, even people in the current government, and we don't complain. Kisi, we have 3/4 of the people are in both in Uhuru government and in Uhuru government. Solicitor General, 3/4 of the civil servants who are in Kisi were appointed by the head of state, both in Uhuru government and Ruto government, they all come from him. But we don't complain. We have never complained from Kisi. Yeah, because we know Nagi. Na point here. Nyarebe, Nyarimira Ruto. That's okay. Lakini Bantu appointed from Kisi without the person being appointed from Nyamira. These people go to the streets. They will go to the streets.
The future of political parties engineer. Maybe Iwato mwelekeo ukiwatoja kama paroja ngakio biroje fande barachinjia marita from web front osimbatiro tikia mara bachinjiri goja ekatokora jere antaro jikia magia udia mungia kwa separation ya 20 years but this story yaro kanetali bakomo ndauti no dana ekipindi kila mtu atajua kipande yake mwategere dali. What does it mean abakenya trust ya CPM marantori monto mwenyene.
Asante Brighton.
Yeah.
So basically the future of our political parties in Kenya, you cannot predict. Most of these famous or big political parties, abananchi ba line tina chiro chimono chikira se mwananchi oli onyeta trust atanye trust again. You see chijenzi nchi ya sogete para to demand a lot so that the government can change its operation. But is realizing agency area chiete para tenya retiko was satisfied. Satisfied. There are just few people from, well-known political parties, And this is Brighton, a spirit eco move around our country, And I bet in come 2027, people are not going to vote in any leader because of political parties, you are from which political party, you get? And that is something that we really want to abolish, because informed, how to safeguard their future. And the only way we can safeguard our future, I'm speaking this saying that the future of political parties will not count. Will not count who to be in place or who to be in a certain position. So going forward, we are going to see a breakout from these main political parties. At the end of the day, we are not going to see ODM most obviously, some other political parties to break Koru ODM, and it is seen. And actually, it began before even Baba died. It showed itself. At the end of the day, ODM, so isn't what we call sijui egenteke kiabo kivagandi babowino sifuna one Kenya alliance. You see, so at the end of the day, one Kenya alliance here ngochiere we sideline koru the real ODM and then at the same ogo splitting kotari na bokorabe nkororo. You see, but now the most important thing nkerinanga ki abananchi ba Kenya, especially the young people, they are not going to vote in somebody because he comes from a certain political party. To me, honestly, these political parties will be used, formally and maybe constitutionally because you ought to be in a political party, maybe, but they are not going to count Montogo Chukova in a certain position. So the future of our political parties in our country, to me, it is unpredictable, and what I stand for is they are not going to count whoever was going to be in any position.
Okay, thank you very much. Kwa nyaka sikia magia ODM ose bete.
Na bete kia magia ODM karadi na renge ko boli chikura chia bonchali bandi ne the ticket ngalisa ini ko rwaro kande kenga.
Okay, bena jiri bina deronga member of ODM mwasiri bete miaka 20 years eitankwale ngo senkwale ngoro dirende ngwara beta sikia me. What can you say? Was it really a little celebration?
Number one, not really.
Okay.
Actually, some of us transitioned from LDP, from NDP, which was after Kenya Social Congress as a founder member, as a youth leader, and George Anyona. We later joined the NDP.
Yes.
And I from NDP. I was the first candidate to NDP. Kenya came out in a parliamentary election state of the truth, even before Raila himself was in Narana. So from NDP we came to LDP. From LDP, ODM, like the Soweto government. And everything is now history.
Yes.
And then I left ODM around 2013.
Yeah.
Then I joined the Kiamakia Musadam Dawati ANC. Ito ikadetigatinero Kanyoni. We went with the Monto group, Peter Kennedy, KNC. And finally, as we speak, I'm the current chairman of Yaktutu Church, Jubilee. I asked as a constituency. So I joined the Jubilee sometime last year, and I'm a member of Jubilee, and I'm currently the chairman of Yaktutu Church, Jubilee. And as we speak, we are fronting Mheshimiwa Matiang'i. And we are requesting Kenyans to look at Matiang'i as a performer and vote for him as the next president of the Republic of Kenya. So let's come among Vyama.
Yes.
Unfortunately, kwa party mbaya, Vyama to cross Kenya guy, every personality based. Karokiwa kiaringe DP was Kibaki.
Yeah.
So once Kibaki did away with the DP, so the party generally died. Karomu yaringe Mama na Baba Kanu, it was known as Mama na Baba. The moment it served the interest of Moi and Moi left, actually he even did congratulations to him that he was able to do transition. But unfortunately, Kanu has never risen again. Ekero for the Syria Jotore kagenda na Matiba, you know the story. Charamogi Sarwete Fort Kenya, ikagenda tubabo kijana wa Marua, and from kijana wa Marua, West Tango took it over. It left being a national party, kagenda kawa Simbri Ebukusu party ni Bungoma, not even in Western province. ODM, many of us those who were there when we formed it, we went, number one, because of the rate, Raila was very charming, charismatic, he had a history about fighting for democracy, detention, and what have you. So quite a number, we saw him as a leader, that a person that you can at least associate yourself in the area.
Yeah.
And therefore, literally, people-based, that you don't want to see rights here, trumped upon. So you could fight for the rights of the people, the social democratic equity, fairness, and that was the party. And Stefan caring and the same. But like any other political party, Ekeroyo Asirete Baba Asirete, because of his association with the so-called in quotes stabilizing the Ruto government after the Gen Z went to the streets. Even those of us who admire us, into a very question mark. Why? And therefore, even within ODM itself, many people, question mark, we are looking for power. Why should we stop this guy? This guy is falling. When he's falling, we should grab that power and go away with it. Then, to chance you to implement our policies for the benefit of Kenyans. So people were questioning. It can get into the problems in ODM. Now, I can tell you this week, I might not be a prophet, but somebody is going to court to remove Uburu Dino from Kenya. Because I listened very carefully the debate hearing yesterday, and even the section of the constitution, ODM, how the reader, they frauded it. So the Kendo City Uburu, it's not legitimate. And therefore, it is the NDC which needs to come and choose another reader.
So does it mean that Winnie Odinga was right? She was right. She was
actually, that young girl was extremely right. Simply saying, no, let's go back to the people. Let's go back to the people. Let the people make a decision who needs to lead the party. That was the right position of ODM and the rules and the regulations here, ODM. So failure to adhere to that, definitely someone going to court and there will be wrangles. Oh no, again to talk one, it is true, it was a difficulty for Baba or correct transition. That's why we are voting. And because political parties are personality based, this is the problem we are having in ODM. And I can tell you for sure, ODM will be it will be spread. Some will be called ODM, come something, somebody, and then many of them will rejoin other political parties. I tend to think, even to be in the one. Then I think I should congratulate you, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, for trying to do transition. He has actually done it. He has handed over reins of power chief party to Matiang'i in a democratic way and the way and therefore, if Matiang'i takes it over, to the next level, then we can say Jubilee, you are very democratic, and then you are called the transition. But most of the political parties in Europe are transition, and therefore we need the and that's why also let me take this chance to congratulate you, Mheshimiwa Matiang'i, I implemented Jubilee policies. That is the part I know most, and therefore among to be in Jubilee. And therefore we can see the transition. And if the transition is peaceful and we go forward, probably we go for directions. If God allows him to be elected the Kenyan president, then Jubilee will be there. Even if it's not, for example, if by bad luck he's not, then he takes over the reins of power, then he moves Jubilee the next level. Then we will see that will be the only part which has done transition.
Okay. And then I say Kevin toro just celebration ye toro chalia wasa balengo toro je bapo wino we cannot talk about mukwana hata beda nera katebana youth bado na barabara sinoni political parties ye jinjira youth bagali say ko na youth ringimaro lakini asibosiali bari kororekana agatenalia gatebali na kwanta mangana makomusa baka yonda kamubole ndene kwasalia saba genda next time ningwa. What do you say about youths being a political party? What space is it in political parties?
Not at all. We don't have a safe space in some of these major political parties. As an engineer, I tend to thinking most of these political parties are family based. You know, onye nche Mosomi ya wearing an rule and say so whoever takes we got from our blood lineage, and at the same time you're realizing if we go that way, then that will be the end of so many political parties. So when again the Karikwa Chababu we're not complaining, even telling the now ODM party leader no nyeni nje wise koligeri go chimutwabu na wango party leader ya ODM okoba neli arochenga tabwati space. You know, you go any negotiations in this political party.
If I'm not on the table, I will destroy the table.
So a good signing. A good signing is not there. You know, is not there. And we so going to Brighton. You know, again the kikato vantaba thanga broad-based. Broad-based ere nabantu get a few of them. You see. Some of them want to, you know, safeguard their positions in the broad-based government, you know. Some of them lose the privileges of what is high. So that's why they are fully much talking about the broad-based. But again, what of these some other members from the same political party who are not aligning themselves with the same broad-based government we are talking about at the end of the day? And most of them you're finding angaki na abasai. And abasai they are the same people who have the question marks with the government of the day. So what will happen? These positions earlier. So what will happen, because now these young people are informed, they are not in the box, they're outside of the box, they will vote for a leader who is capable to bring transformation.
That's very nice.
Yes.
Engineer can go down sorry. Muni marete pati marwanete lakini asijipinda dina one bia mebia krabibo chevingi even for the good of Kenyans or severe for self-interest engineer oisikuri boniga wabuyoro na rediga tikashawa na rosiki ya magia ya DCP ate mede sana ali kwa bonege karibu nyoka na chipiriali na kilo montakuri maarufu nini maneno kama haya bia mebia vingi mwaretete. If you are getting the good, you know what ambition because you are there, you are for the good of the country, or say about the bagay chak, about self-interest, or say no kuirwana na kwa gina cha kila mtu akuje na jina yake.
The Brighton.
Yes.
Na on the ways you together.
That's it. Yeah.
And we can understand. Probably Kevin might not understand, but he must have read history as a politician. He must have read history and known what was work there. Under the Moi regime, we were squeezed. You mean the pressure? Like we were just like a pressure cooker. In Tanzania, at the moment, there is pressure. People want change, but the government is squeezing people. There were no rights. Kuimuka ukwana iga kwa watu echera
but having an actual than no man or minister.
You see you know it's okay even here in Kenya the rate Kenyatta, you know, Kenyatta was the president, his son was already a member of parliament of Chucha. The daughter was the mayor. The daughter was the mayor. Nairobi. Margaret Kenyatta was the mayor. So that is the period. But there is nothing that stops Umugambi, Umwano, I will say whatever, or take positions. Because, for example, the son went to Nairobi and contested in Nairobi when Jaramogi was contesting in Siaya. Both of them won. So he became a lead on his own rights. The same way I can see the young girl, Borokowini Odinga, after a war. She might, with the time, probably use her father's name in one way or the other, but she will position herself for the future. So that's how you will never, don't call on the road. You must fight to be on the table. The same way Babu is doing. If you are waiting for the young man to be called, you must go there and bang the tables. and raise your voice until usalie kebute aikara wasalie kebute na lia bantu baratena no na wate point mobe kabu onde bo. So in the process you bring ideas into the party for the benefit ya wananchi. But unfortunately again majority of the young people to the leadership, there is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. So bring again as a vyama media it's because we were under pressure. It was necessary so we thought we shall be like Britain, we shall be like America, whereby okonyoli kiama kibuata is certain ideology. People based, social democrat, liberal capitalist and the rest. So we expected a tokoros chipati chiko survive for long kibuata ideology.
Pero ngona just usino entertaiga engineer unabona troje utiama entertaiga kubada kembege kwa register but comparties isigo in audio isiko bagikana kama daire busy na nabona audio kwa register
that's what I'm saying. A problem we expect to take a talk of Sylvia Metoja. We have everybody which you know which policies chepati what side which you know because they are right with what you stand for. That's what we expected. But unfortunately, if Vyama become formed on tribal basis and on personality based. A curriculum formed the natural movie, which was actually formed, which was actually ideology based. That's why we are able to attract people from all over the country. Like me, you can get a tribal. No more from the party, I get a vaso. No, we go from the party. So, look at the tribal. Among an ideology, a tiru. The same way you roger Matiana you must also form your own political power. But now, is it the person? Is it the party Makori or it is the individual? Because I can be the bad man here. Now, we become a green man. Because the person is the same person. Okay. So a question needing a which we have managed. Even now we are finding our own bearing. And I can tell you for sure in the next 10 years, my younger brother here, Kevin Yateva, this generation, which was one of political parties, which must be there with the ideology based. We are by party A just because of this and this, even in terms of performance, what you have been able to achieve, what you stand for, and the rest. Our generation that took over from Kibakis and the rest, my generation is the generation of old. Our generation that took over, we have been part and parcel of the mess. You leadership. So that's why we are saying the generation which are on the so-called agencies and the rest. In them.
And they say they're pathless.
No, well, we want to see them organized. You are saying you are pathless, you are everything. They are not going to vote to register themselves as voters. We want to see them organized. Again, don't get in again. We want to see them use their social media, their networks, registered as voters in Kitutu Chache, Mambi another Miamoja, in Kitutu Chache, in Yariva Chache, so by the end of the registration exercise, we need to see 6 to 7 million registered voters. What can to organize the same way they were organized in if they can use the same method to organize themselves, and our registration of voters, everybody will be, every politician will panic. Because they were partyless, leaderless, so they are voting you chakogenda. Then it will force political parties and or individuals in political parties to align themselves by doing exactly what this generation wants. Because this is their country. Ours is almost being phased out. So this is their country. And therefore, they have a longer time to live in this country than some of us. So what are the stakes? The stakes are higher for this generation. But what we are asking them, kindly organize yourself.
Okay.
Tell your people to organize yourself. Organize yourself, register yourself as voters. Yeah.
We really organize ourselves. I think there's something that so many political let me explain this.
Yes.
I think the reason as to why we said those previous times they are partyless, leaderless, it is because they never wanted any political party to gain any credit. So that's why they never wanted their efforts not to be taken for granted with the political parties that later took stake. So that's why basically we are partyless. So there is no political party that will speak on behalf of
partyless.
We are not partyless. At the end of the day, you know, as engineer by multipartyism, at the end of the day, now we Brighton, we are going to align ourselves with political parties that have ideologies and that can bring transformation, which are someone youth of Kenya. So, and by the way, this exercise,
are you aligning yourself to the party or the person?
We are not aligning ourselves. We are not aligning ourselves to the political party.
Yeah.
And by the way, basically, at the same time, we can align ourselves to a political party that has a future, and the political party that has existed, and we've seen what it can transform.
Okay.
Right? So, and by the way, we are registering as voters. Engineer, let me say the problem that happened, maybe the exercise, there is something, and I think we discussed it here at Brighton. The same people we call leaders, in this time, abantu want to register as voters, especially the young people, empowerment programs. And these empowerment programs, they are not empowerment programs as the word itself is. You are giving out, you are cashing out handouts. So, engineer, almost you know, tabuati into kenda okora ncherindite yagwe sustain lakini manya wako resi minanga ki tomera nesa ambiri twendo mukutana orarie orasigite nkwe gumulirenga 500 musayo litari gochugutwara kerengereri yo gochukori time yo gochukora register as a voter. So to some extent I feeling it was a criteria the same government was using not to allow these young people, especially from Kisi, to register as voters. And now we realized it, by the way.
You know, that's the point. You see, as a young person, to understand you must understand your country. Yeah. You should have now known those are the diversionary tactics. Chikova used by the current regime, because the current regime knows the young people will not vote for this regime. They know that. So, but they also want to make sure they introduce a culture and handouts to you, so that you start talking about them and handouts, then you stop discussing about ideas.
So what
they wanted to divert you from wanting to register to becoming an handout seeker. So that is so. It is upon you. But leaders within that system, young people, to understand. Talk among yourselves through your social media, and this is a diversionary tactics. The current regime, we knew it even when we were in universities. We knew this is the kind of information we did not want, but that not stop us. We stood up and fought it.
Yamira around bara register bange, no tari bange. Particular Najit Kobodia, colleges the constituents. So you cannot register Bandava, West Mogrango, North Mogrango, because they have by election. So abantu bakuregister mostly in kitu masafa.
Which one in Brighton, you are right. A problem to what as politician. I have not seen, apart from Mheshimiwa Matiang'i Okwana the other day in IBC, a registration to the polling center.
Yes, that's it.
The rest of the politicians are not interested in that because if I targeted the old number, the registered voters yarengo with the demographics the way yarenge, it favors them. We introduce these young people, we introduce to the system, they don't know. They might tilt the balance.
Okay.
So, again, to politicians, they genuine. They must put pressure to the electoral commission. They open up with two polling centers. Because it's true, like, for example, say tomona kerogararia okay the Mosomi mahade and you are unemployed.
Which is true. Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying and by the way, Brighton, what this these politicians should understand.
Yeah.
We are the same people that were on the streets. We are the same people that raised questions. And let them not thinking these numbers in this period, we are not moving with the pace of the politicians, But at the end of the day, again, 100%, actually to 90%, they are going to register as voters. And
when?
We are going, we still have time. I mean, we still have time. Brighton. Brighton. By the way, before we even go to Wamunyor and Kalonzo, we should start with our local leaders. We've had several cases happening. You see? So that's why I'm saying, this pressure should begin with the local leaders. Instead of them running up and down, dishing out we are beyond that. You see? And as I told you, we are not numb, Brighton. But I am very even by the way. Before even the time elapses, and what will happen now at the end of the day, convince psychology in doing some programs that are very, they have no value at all. They are the very first people that are going to be sent home. They are the very first people.
So whatever what registers abantu utore ibande abana form 4 janso kwa
No,
yes. There's a point where I'm raising this. Yeah.
Actually, engineer,
I know very well. I can even tell you my own uncle is 60. So this is
So what was I trying to say? Again, for it to be successful engineer, it is not just about in any political forum. If really the government is serious at the end of the day, and not even the government itself, if these local political leaders are serious at the end of the day, then what we need, for instance in Kisii, we need civic education in all the 45 wards. You see, some of these people engineer, you get? We said they have been voting before, but we've never seen any change coming out of it. So these people, you will not convince them just by holding the mic in any political gathering and telling them that now go and register as,
You call the name Kevo like my son. Let me tell you, I'm not interested in that generation. I'm interested with the generation in enlightened, organized, so it is from the data from the government from last election to now, they are approximating about 6 million to 7 million people that are registered as voters. Some of these people have got IDs, but they are not voters. That's why I told you, University. There is no student in that university to avoid Kikewani. But you will find that 90% are not registered as voters. Okay, and the National Polytechnic ya Kisi to what because to was college you to what you can't read the loans without Kikewani. So all these young people have got IDs. Each never had to revival transition to school, abandoned, revival school immediately. Because years they were forced to create because so these people would IDs, but they are not registered as voters.
Why do you think they were registering?
It is that's why interest in the number one, registration is at the constituency headquarters, which is far. These people have no money, they have no transport, so they can't go there. Two, there's so much institution by our leadership. Our leadership, I mean my generation, the current regime, obviously. So, I never this regime has wasted them. I remember some years back, not years back, early this year. Actually, one of my sons told me that we are not going to allow you to vote this time around. Tutakufungia kwa nyumba. Kwa sababu nyinyi ndio mnapiga kura mnapiga the wrong way. And I said, okay, that was a good challenge. I'm telling you, that's a fact. That's a good challenge. Last elections, my sons or my kids were going for the young person. From MCA, Pakobo president, many of them voted for Ruto. Uchiko bakani, uchiko bategaka, no. Hii mambo ya Raila tumechoka na hiyo mzee nini. It is now when they are coming back and saying, hey, wait a minute, ngikiriwa ni watu taweti. Tili watu taweti ndo jivi ndo ili watu taweti yarareka ne. So what I'm challenging you, what I'm challenging your generation. Yes. Organized, I want you to see yourself organized the same way what they have and the you should also put pressure on serious politicians. But when to put pressure, pressure, you know, even why don't you come with a hash here by IBC to pressurize them to bring voters registration at the polling center? So, I remember my daughter was registered a voter in 2022. She registered herself in Chucha. When she was in college, she registered details, check polling station yaka. Lakini akiregister kare college. So we expect the same IBC polling clerks vaire bake Kisi University vai karanse skaria bakuri umuntu bavuate data ye kantringi makoyore meru utagete ujwakere kura meru details ya register no yeta yozo kule oyore Mombasa the same oyore Kisiga the same vaire Maseno vaire Eldoret vaire Nairobi. This is exactly what we want to see. This is what I'm saying. You people tell IBC you have no money, you are not going to register at the constituency level. We are going to destroy those constituency. We are going to destroy those registration at the constituency level. Bring them, put that pressure. That's what I'm saying. Again, the current IBC go to me about resources. And it is true they might not have resources because the government doesn't want a generation here registered as voters. So they will stop that hard exercise. Now we stop that exercise. We're also going to stop the exercise. You work at Chikura in 2027 unless this particular exercise takes place. This is the pressure I'm talking about. Lakin to kire na mo kire teiga. To ajande. Eba ko yenda exercise is ending up in a few days time. Director commission yete ntubu atiweza.
Kire ndo intention. Yeah. We live at a time in this country when you raise your voice you get abducted. When you raise your voice you get, you know. So how do you want us to give to give pressure to the same people we've seen that this pressure has been tormenting us in a way.
Okay.
Okay.
Tara Oliver Kira, they're watching from Mount Elgon. Dennis Subari watching from Kisii County, Mariba Malambo. Msuru wetu wako na sisi Emmanuel Bosira, then a wonder of past Emmanuel Rure watching live from Kulia. Salimia mtumishi Kevin, mnafanya kazi nzuri, Mungu awabariki. Robert Maiswa, then Kevin aweke namba yake hapo. Nura tena engineer biyamana sobo semi watoa, lakini yamangana ya bali tipati njendo jembe yana tutwale byama bibere byoka twamanya mbivu na mbichi. Engineer na tena tutake tutwale byama bibere byoka kama ni baya.
Finally, these political parties will find their level. They will finally settle with 2 parties or 3. Finally, with their generation, with the time, they will settle on that.
Dimwache gocha na mangana ya na wana wika the next government wike form a coalition. Dimwache dege mkaja utana wana na wana chama de cross.
2010 constitution, it was an act of parliament. Yeah, the two are political parties can either form a coalition before election or post elections, because well, sometimes it also surprises the country. For example, post coalitions nanga waruma in the ANC wata wabunge baye batano kwerende UDA gatwara wabunge baye 20 ODM gatwara wabunge baye 30. You will have so many of them, and then the party iliya gusa president iliya choli banyara ya wata wabunge 50 abande bamuyiri. The kind of our democracy. Even our economy, for example, the reality and the theory sometimes. For example, Turacholi president, within 6 months or 1 year, with our economy will stand directions. We read his mind, that will be a sign of chaos. What
happened, Secretary President? Is the deputy that takes off?
No, one second more because it will be both the president and his deputy.
These coalitions actually, so many
because people think that they are benefits as individuals. Because when the handshakes and about the one, for example, handshake Korwa, they just have experts. People think that experts so because you could experts parliament. Government it
is not the experts.
No. That's what the party claims. You see, that's what the party claims.
You see, this is what the party claims and what is the reality. The truth. You don't want to. This was a coalition, entirely normal as by the law. The ODM versus UDA. It is just a coalition, lakini abnormal. Because literally, it is a coalition. ODM. The lead of minority ODM. The deputy party ODM. So it is literally ODM just in coalition, but we tell normal because they tell accepted or allowed in when we karanza negotiate batangaze akarana ki now ODM and UDA have entered into a coalition. But because they are taking many people might not accept it, bakaira na maigaba bakaweka bantu basa serikali bakamna kubategesa in political parties our next party. My brother, which expert is job? expert kijua ono expert kiyo yonde oparaja
ngene expert
kwani expert no kwani Mbadi, my friend, and we have done a lot of projects together with him. He's an accountant. So you know accountants in Ichungo teke accountant. In UDA. So do you mean UDA did not have accountants? So my brother, my friend, that was I'm proud of him in one way or the other because it was my campaign manager in the student politics.
Yeah. As a veteran politician, Jara miaka ya ode benki kaltura expert yore na politician. Kendo kiri moto deviga bete no yake do bralia anjini nde chigeti. Kwa kama moto devina kina bone mwargo tigana N7 na anak. Na bono yani shige ya bete gete ya konyensi. Inum moja moja the politician. Na the young generation think that dina again take dange mo atigete to school member kengoli. Elini we want them change. Inuma then abono the expert ni aye tu akoleta iga because of peace. What can you say about this?
You see, those people they were operating in Tekabilikyo.
I told you.
But those are tired politicians.
Okay.
Politicians were going to enjoy the status quo. I have nothing to lose with this government. I have nothing, literally nothing. I have nothing. Because we are fighting this regime ya Moi, and this is even worse than Moi. You see, let me ask you, countries have gone through a lot of transitions. Are there chaos in Madagascar now? Well, whether the military took over or what, the point is people went in the streets and they changed their government. So anybody, even in the future, that people can rise up and get him off. So there was nothing wrong. This generation, if, for example, the political class could not organize, even if the military could have taken over, me, I have no issue.
Why do Kenyans fear that they would maybe takes over?
No, people were fearing there would be a division like what happened in Sudan. Sudan and it started from the civil society amandamano RSF abasanya baruto na military dispose of the previous government bali bajetamo baikira sasa mwita na bagwetana once people were terms, they are telling their country apart. You know, they bring a bad example to Kenya or a generation but in the actual sense, these people are benefiting.
Okay.
So there's nothing wrong. A revolution here to go to Kenya. Some casualties could have been there. Some few people could have lost their lives because of change of government is not an easy thing. And therefore, at the end of the day, within 1, 2, 3 months, Kenya could have been peaceful with the change of government. Whether they are to me the system we're getting now, but it could have said a very strong signal.
Okay, Dara Kuboriga, the Kefona Bakrina, Engineer Makori, Akuborina, Yaring Kibuya, Muraibuense, Kuikirana celebration ya 20 ya ODM. Yaring Kibuya. UDA na ODM ne bwate
of course to their plan because ODM and UDA they are, you cannot separate them. So according to their local plan, because for instance in Sowanaiga, Timbaliti ODM as an existing political party. ODM has been swallowed, So at the end of the day, it has there were division. So to me, it was good for him to celebrate with them because they're one thing.
Okay. lakini na menda ko jinsa wote bana yale ko bana Raila moya lenge tututangata cheti Mombasa.
Na wale wicho.
Na wanga kwenda.
He had already invited him before he died.
Been working together.
Yes, there's no difference between ODM and the UDA. There's no difference. As we march towards the next election, ODM and UDA are just the same. The same way Kenyans will treat UDA, they should treat ODM the same.
Now, tuigure abara iba ODM ba otebana, it's either we form the government or we form the government, we stop as a serikali.
That's a lazy statement.
What can you say about that statement?
That's a lazy statement. That's exactly what Mheshimiwa, the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto atebete. That now that Baba's gone, I will not wish and I will not accept Korora ODM we are going to opposition. Meaning, he has already made up his decision. It is him, the government, now and after 2027. So now, he really wants ODM to be part of that of that system.
Nande bwango iga wa oyo na debete na siasa ya bekera ngomsano mwage. Akadebona bono ntoto ke tujo nyo ke rogi wa deputy. Oburu odinga na kwa ndichinga gete. Kara one of the interviews then ke ro ntura kana wa deputy. Juzi Saturday, kama si Saturday masande. Mo Senator Samson Chirege. Na bate badiara ka badena ka ki.
Igero kiba.
Biye babibere. Mo toma kuri kaituro just country. Bate beri na birobio, birobio to bate kindiki na rutoro re. Lakini na mogo chaga iga emorasa bekende na kwa ndama ngana kita magoza na ka bate emorasa bekende ikama chikora na bono. Dana banko de abane na kro kwarre emambe ko de bien sunerware de abuko yigene. Kera kro samsoni akora kwana. How much Borana Nigato?
No, to me, Brighton and the Gringo get you and a political game. Those people at the end of the day, they want to play the psychology of you know. So that is not something that Kenyans should take serious, by the way. That is just a political game. But against their coalition, let me call it coalition in quotes. But against their coalition, but tend to thinking and now, even if these people are part of this, now they are trying to negotiate something or they are trying to get something from the same coalition. So to me, that is really a political game that they are playing. That's a political game, Brighton. That's a political game.
No Mosomi kurmambia bo mpaka bomise ta ko unonye kare tarigo kotegere onti Makori wa tena yeso mi demo ngwa sa statement the engineer kwano what's your take on that?
Number one, the mistake ni ODM. Even my friend the late Raila Ekarago ataraku gatebete nani alikuambia ati 2027 ODM they go be presidential candidate. My understanding the 10-point agenda echirororo baka 2027. Wewe 2027 ngakijikura ODM will make a decision whether we shall put up a presidential candidate, whether we shall go around or we shall go in a coalition. Because always they have always had coalitions.
What identity tana te week 2070? So pretty.
I'm talking about the Karuna Raila. Then I get us a week of 2027 coalition. And the Raila was the strong man. He was the glue. Yeah, what did ODM? Never Baba joke Mombasa Raila. Mama na what influence Mombasa bako yenda against Raila. Raila kuila na tumio mondo mai ground and akejo isko. So they used to fear something like that. Therefore, because they knew there na what a network the alternative. When you kwa moja, don't give kill your friend, and your friend will be more popular than you, and therefore you lose. So people used to fear that. When Raila tayo. The idea you could not the president to target the coalition in the Jintakana Chile, reduce a very strong party of what the ideology. Nangavono, Nalibarik more pressure to UDA over TV. No, number one. When you go to the coalition, number one, go just to it. And go just to it, we are the bigger party. Our party will produce the presidential candidate, Ruto Tavera number. Yes. You study. negotiating from the point of strength. Area so called tell you Mondra, you are negotiating on this thing. If you don't want, you go. Knowing that you are very strong. Mundina Musakutika and Nero Kulus, Tadia Kulus. But one is tidy, whatever, oh, Ejintakana Tole, Akita, and you to Imoke, to no one jack, Intakana, you have no choice. More than one of our and one of you. Now we are orphans, and when orphans, we don't choose who takes care of us. That is extremely demeaning. Like the is what my about now we will war to the serikali, we shall be part of the government. What you should say, we as ODM, we shall stand on our own, but if need be, we shall form a coalition with others. And the coalitions are there, and then specifically, don't narrow it to UDA, because the moment you go a coalition with UDA, some of us who have not been associated with UDA, we shall forget about that coalition.
Okay. Then President Heavy Engineer Kenya ya sasa hii ni corruption kwa kila kitu. Tuombe Mungu yako naso ndio kusema. Ala corruption never nisikirongo. Kutika chida kamera ngebeni santo kode la kitori na gusi no antari gusi ntubati direction engineer na kefu chitakero ko lutada 27 kesko na chigwata mangana makomsa. Kana ndo kwa majo ina direction bona jitindie de what about 2027? Para ndo kwa na chinsasi askuru ngwara chinsasi warabo mbere kaskasini chinsasi chiko kuri ngwaro janse sirimbare bana wateba ngatinga kya wateba Godfrey ruku ngakia ukwana toma kodana where are we as the country ndo wadana nebyo mbebi ko rige matamshi ya watu where are we as the country engineer mekwana
I think as a country we are, let me say, we're in a political crisis, by the way.
Yes,
and why am I saying that we are in a political crisis? Basically, how these by-elections were run, now raise so many questions. For instance, basically, you get to understanding mwananchi uliowake kura an opportunity. You go participate his or a democratic right, you go chorumu mtoliata get willingly. Kama kanyaranga, some of these leaders, you know, who have voices, eba go front umuntu uli batagete. Tali muntu uli bana inchi bakarateki batagete. Endo kama akora Brighton ninga medali nela gotebanga ngakiona nange muyase kusaidia tanga fahari wawili wakipigana nyanzi umia so when you get kama konyaranga omuntu yego bere front retiru no yonde igole against yoyo moretire bakuomera n'umuntu okumia no mwananchi yego kawaida so which means there is no freedom the common mwananchi airi okaraki o participate in that by-election, for instance, that by-election. So to me, what I can really say in Kirinangaki, the mwananchi anya kwa a free will. You go participate, his or a democratic right, you go chora. And that is what we are fighting for, by the way, as the young people of Brighton. And what will happen even in Kasipul, by the way, no expected thing, it will be the other way around. Because we are now at a times, depending ikiamakuru ntori gochora morai depending inangaki nyareba okorereki umubwate rokoboko otogochora morai oritumate nangaki obwate amasirai yo omwananchi. Number 2, we have these by-elections which will happen in various places. It is good politically, Brighton, when you safeguard your own region. You know, it is always good. Mimi I'm in support of it, by the way. He's been safeguarding his region because that is what it should be happening in Kisii as well. You know, in Kisii, for instance, Ntobata presidential candidate. I mean, we should safeguard our region. It will be awkward nangaki omondo from another, let me use now, another political party which is opposing our candidate to take lead from our region. Then what will it show? So to me, I still stand on support any by-election Thiga, Twala, Inango, Namatiangi at the end of the day, because this is what will show, you know.
Engineer Terra Meterabu, yes, Engineer Meterabu. Direction jage si tiga matiangi.
Chipati.
Chirava tarava terarendi. O meaning in a part of track.
I happened to have been participated in a by-election. I was around 28 years old when the Rate Onyonka passed on. So I participated in. I went in that by-elections. So I know how by-elections are. By-election because the entire country is focused on a particular constituencies was the wards. One muntu kuri Mombasa igakale Kilifi, muntu kale Busia na akale Kilifi, na akale Mbeere na akale ward. So at the end of the day, wakonyora a focus ye country gimayera siji by election. In a general election, kila mtu anakimbia kwake kujitetea.
Naungana yes.
Ebe nume wodi wakalikurani wodi yao na uchumbo kalikurani uchumbo kwao. So it will be spread throughout the country. So that's why by election you got a certain focus. One usore wa mia de nyansiongo. Bakuni nyansiongo wagenda pe. Wagenda nyama. And then the resources Jones P when it used on a particular area. The concentration of resources on a small area. Moko in the general election, the resources are concentrated throughout the country. So, yes. But what happens? No, the crowd is more Nambere, Nejimoko Ranyansiango. A Karachuka Jujo Katarishina Sava, Moko Yomunda, Waki Kurawe. To turn out, you see now, you can see the crowd. But take Rajikura Juju once a walk, or your clerk say we can putting centers. But for now, people are flocking those places. But turn out will be extreme. By-election. Abantu bakunya kwa no ekero wetera linere yacho bakunya kwa yacho bakuru situnye tika bakore yacho bakuru bonchari yaburu is one together na banchari. I don't know why. So time memorial you cannot separate them with no monja no monchari together. So that means very good neighborliness. And the bakuru bogia kumugega bacha and the bakuru nsasu ne ogesonso mada and the rest bacha. So those are the crowds that you are seeing Yansiongo. Wana bantu bamanyitene kinda toko yendalia more especially abantu beserekai bakumyoka n'ikindege igoro kirugyo bo MCA bakumyoka n'ikindege igoro so abantu bamanyitene ndagira nekorete karo ora abantu bakuru everywhere kogenda imikutani ikora koragia abantu bali nchara ya siasa ebo no bubungu buri mbere abantu bali nchara ihokonyo tumuntu akora the fattest party ye constituency jinde oje constituency naki batake de korra rigati nero yo inchaga gachago matiangi nacho inakima kimatiangi yakora akoreka inkia kuana. So you will see those crowds and those crowds ipo manje na toko yendo Nero. Bas, bona karo muroje crowd area, umuntu makugira tana crowd yake bamura UD ya watanyansiyo ngo yaire jiku. And yet that's a higher crowd from Ferias. Areas bachi tukimu gishiringi 200 500 kiri muko so by the time on muri waka kikora numanye tena tubwatike no bwateke bandi yesa kindu badikore wodi so tujo waka gora so wono bali muka abanyene uranyore barabumba amageti decision yabo ngo bawakira kikora baramundo bali muri tegisa bagizwe ni moje teme kuta neria one akamuji waka kikora uji kuikara nabuganye umuntaje wakekura abore. So this is where any by-election, according to me, will not show you exactly what will happen in the general elections.
It cannot reflect.
It cannot reflect because there are two factors. MCA. umuntu youth muwakira chikurankrani charite. Iri yakabere. Who was able to give more money. Tigango teki chikuri jiwile wagu chowe MCA abande bakuzi umundo na shilingi 1,000 wake kwa.
Karwa yigiri tukuri.
Litukuri waka chikura abande bakuzi umundo na 1,000. So whoever will mobilize more people with their 1,000 shillings because the men they want to buy you more especially you did they go anything less than 1,000. Otherwise it is 2,000. What bakuzi waria vai wewese amojo wake ku. So whoever will mobilize more people with more resources, never win. That's why in most cases, umuntu by election loses in the general election. Just akisabu including Nyamanyacheki Yaringo, what and what, whoever is actually elected because the entire country needs to country no jiwo. Abantu bari nabona nyansiyo gonna say ta Ruto wants to show Matiang'i again. Ni manyete okarasia siasa. You wish to embarrass him at home. No, Kevin Yatel. So he will make sure whether you are wrong to use 100 million. We near by election, they will not care because even the 100 million back to me, so they will not care. So, where people are principle, people vote without any inducement. And I think that's why I am not sure I cannot speak on behalf of the party. And I think that's why it should be a relative in the 1.5 years. It will be our weakness in mapema and therefore to suddenly image and I think that's why Matiang'i no more kora support abantu UPA support abantu BDP why Jubilee is organizing itself. That's this party coalition
just don't begin set ya the people daily ya batendo dandate the people daily again the create tabu the tabagan ban bacha vice brigadier senior position arafu kwa begera set ya the star ne roya bata mangana kitu makabu ngombe krabu Josh the crucial factors post to shift the lace na bwabo wanaomba mregrete William Ruto wakamrekala Rigathi Gachagua George Natembea Fred Matiang'i Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka as a background engineer kira kwani gaseti hiyo who will win the Mount Kenya vote, engineer?
What? I already know one thing. The Mount Kenya votes will not go to Ruto. So just remove Ruto from the equation. And say it, we have been there, we have voted 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We know how the Mount Kenya people vote and we know their interest in a so remove it. So between Matiang'i and Kalonzo, depending on how Jubilee and the DCP, Gachagua, and by extension, the relationship between Uhuru and Gachagua. That's how those votes will go. If they agree and front one particular candidate, be it Gachagua, be it Kalonzo, that's where the votes will go. If they front Matiang'i, 90% of those votes, Mount Kenya will go to that particular individual. However, if they don't agree, and I'm seeing chances if the opposition doesn't agree, we are seeing Matiang'i and we are seeing Kalonzo and we are seeing Ruto, Makori and for example, and probably Gachagua supporting Kalonzo and Uhuru supporting Matiang'i. It will depend how aggressive Uhuru arrive on the ground because now what the moral authority, because now a canity. So he can stand up and tell you, I told you, don't go this direction, Mukagendo, you're banned to yourself. Gachagua was part and parcel, Yoko Henda Seruto, Kawakanya, when you are coming back to me, then why don't you listen to me? And then so if it goes as a Kogendo with that moral authority, you go campaign for Matiang'i na Ruto na Gachagua kale campaign for Kalonzo, and I can see 50-50.
Okay.
I can see 50.
Careful. What can you say about that?
Yeah.
Mr. Beyu?
I was just engineer.
For
now, you can really tell that out of those people, Rutere, we should put him aside, because the understanding of the mountain has shifted. Yeah, they have shifted their thinking. And now going forward, it's either Kalonzo or Matiang'i. And by the way, engineer, I'm seeing a place where this opposition, they'll agree on one candidate. And obviously, it's going to be Matiang'i. That is what, if they agree, And as he said, if they agree that it's going to be Matiang'i, not even 90% by the way, it's going to be even 95%. Of all the votes from the mountain will be in one bucket Matiang'i. But as for now, as things stand, it is 50-50. Kalonzo and Matiang'i. That's the conversation we should be having. But going forward, if these people agree on one candidate, then it's going to enjoy Chikuri Chichon's speech.
Okay, Joshua, Testa, and then we wind up. They can go to court, Testa newspaper. Kiara Gorgo Jangan, even to visit the city at Testa. Chikuri city Testa, the Nasnini. Any other Havana China Banjira 2022 epic race, Ruto numbers against Kalonzo, Pasau. Medical Matiang'i, maybe, and the page 4. But then, President Ruto, a pace 24 counties so far. But the number of registered voters as counties is 9,427,000. Tumegoja, as opposition pace, about the 15. Kisi no tuwegira na Nyamira ugare position ndinde ko Matiang'i nipasho na bara wapo baba the battleground sijire Nairobi, Kajiado, Isiolo, Marsabit, Taita Taveta, Lam and Trans Nzoia ejibwate chikura 4,443,858 kwa maana battleground nera yere 9 million kaba 8 million so far kwa digatina Kalonzo wama utabana ga ejire 4 million.
One, I will dismiss the Star.
You will dismiss?
I just dismiss it, and because maybe this is, for example, what criteria were they using to put Mombasa there?
Yeah.
Nairobi.
Yes. Nairobi is a battleground. Nairobi is a battleground.
Between who and who?
Between the opposition side and the North.
How? Yeah. So I live in Western Kenya. I stay in Western. Kakamega. I stay in Western. You see, you speak about route in Western, people will beat you up. In Kakamega, that's where I stay. Yeah, you talk about Ruto. When you see, that's why Gachagua, because Mama Indragi, Gachagua now is not sellable outside Mount Kenya. That's why they're saying it this way. So, but in Kibatari, you Kalonzo na Matiang'i.
Yeah.
Yes, because Ruto na watu wako mubushi na ODM. Kalonzo no Matiang'i na watu wako mubushi yes Gachagua royo mo. So aiga kwa kubeka na Gachagua Ruto na kumweka Ruto Ruto weka. So there is no statistics have been done because I stay, for example, Trans Nzoia teko genda na Ruto. Kakamega teko genda na Ruto. So what criteria have they used to put it here? So I will still dismiss it. This one.
What do you think? Because you don't know kano hesabu to wana 9 million plus 2.
I think when you're in Brighton, there is something I saw here.
Joshua, rudisha kidogo kind.
You see, maybe Nawanda Samantha is from the veteran here. Yeah. But honestly, to me, Kisumu, Siaya, Homa Bay, Migori, saizi Mbava na think about 100% sure nga they are Ruto's bases. Yeah, they shouldn't, including even Narok, by the way. Because right now, the Nyanza region, I can tell you for free, Nanangaki, Mbara decide. Leave alone.
The assumption in a key, Ruto has taken the entire region zones apart from Kisii. That is, you see, you become almost abnormal, insane. Imagine something like that. You are in Mombasa and people are happy in hands. The cost of living here. So this, I think this is personally Ruto Chikura, and they have decided something like that.
That's just an assumption and imagination. Honestly, you cannot tell Kisumu it's Ruto's base 100%. Not at all. You cannot see Siaya. Look at the governor from Siaya. He's not aligning himself with the president. Then how do you tell a singer it is Ruto's base? Still, you know. Look at even Kakamega.
People are happy now. Kina Bamarara here, the Kawara here.
Crossing mark careful. I don't know if we are crossing mark kindly. Crossing mark as
Mbiamona Brighton. We've just had a very wonderful and enlightful discussion. Mbiamona sana engineer, you know, nande sava kusibon sipina wakanya once kimotorigere tibano mambi. Tuabata virimbi amona soko reta chinsa chino inde tunyara gosanga. Inteka matungo sabankeri nangaki into 20p na abakenya. Ntobu atiensende potatiga Kenya. Egento tobwana tabakora king enchomono. Tiga tuanchane into asintwe. Viame vigambigera tuangane. Siasi yega tegaraki tuangane. What we are fighting for at the end of the day, ngerinangaki, we get good leadership. And as a country, we as the young people, we are the majority. And what we need right now from even those politicians who are in positions, we want to fight for what is right. It is not about handouts. It is not about, you know, playing with our psychology, but it is about safeguarding the future of the youth. Our tomorrow will not be workable if we can't begin preparing it as per today. Mbiamona sana, Nyasaye habasiseni, tumenya no marembe.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Engineer, you are crossing the mark,
Number one, awakiri mbiamona sana, Brighton, asuto Chicago jasege karabuneke, asuko na kuligiri lingi kegendreta sense yaito. Mimi, nataka wa appeal to the youth. Kindly, maneve serio koewa, yendagera no musazi ya anchi yeri tukiri nyespe kwenda kwa registration. We can't tell registration inaweza soja weekenga kirio maelio onyo IBC tikurenda kendekase boarding stations. So it will be necessary take this chance and register as a voter. This country belongs to you. This country belongs to the young people, more especially those who are below 45, and more so very below the age of 30. This country belongs to you. Therefore, go out and register yourself. Depending at the moment, the presidential candidate. Tomorrow, Kishima. Tumawatisi okoboko okurukwa Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Togende all of this use our energy konia service kubiesiko konia Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i as our presidential candidate nende tikatumusa tumusupport. Asaba usiiba mintoli mulege na more especially kokwana ogetutu chaje south yaito. Akesabu chikura chiweka make sure na mwachorere kuruma MCA umuntu what interest cha chaino cha bantu bakitutu chajesa south mocho mubunge mocho governor mocho bake president. For now samangane president, I should tell you as we see we should be done that our presidential candidate is Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Yes. Governor Kengo bado to what time uchumbe abantu ba what time even if it bianca when the way you are no musi so the governor at Yasakulite or Sasako Yoramurusio still no musi mobungi the same, but for the presidential it is necessary we come together and support Mr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i and Tomai Chukura and Tomai his time. Yes. And I must condemn even to bring on social media. I want to know Mobungo South Mogirango Korokwa Serban Siosoro. I Mogitako Nakorama Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Number one, Tariech Metiai. Number two, Tasometi Okengo Matiang'i. Number three, tabase kuimukia na by that is the chief whip anse kora mna muntu itaise ni kendo kerogyo karate no tenegro yesu kia ngone no muntu menye he talks is something totally useless. We don't expect a leader, a chief whip of that caliber kwa ngende kabisa. So at the end of the day tutwara Mulembe to register na voters tujawaka jikoro no Mulembe tujora our leaders. The best candidate should win. The best person who experience also tells us more you win to win, more you could us.
Thank you very much. The to in seconds. Abasa Barika. Just now and it's Christmas. What can you say? Because in a Abasa Bank also just a second.
Yeah, thank you, Brighton. Now that Abasa Bank in Barisiko, please don't engage yourselves in activities that are not valuable to you. We are coming up with a program in all the 45 wards, what we call youth forums. And these programs will really help so many young people in making themselves busy. We'll be having football tournaments, we'll be having talent shows. So please come up as a youth. Let us share with one another. But in this duration, University graduation, please, Omarembe, and we do what is right.
Thank you. Kindly finishing go out. Valia, the youth, why Buchanan drugs. Tell our youth why Buchanan drugs. The drugs are a menace. The drugs are destroying the generations. Go with everywhere. So you wait tomorrow. Kindly, if they can eradicate those menace from among our youth. The better. Second motor such tournaments was even take a review. Please rent Avanta Romanyete anti-narcotic. Avanduna Valia, Usa and Vasio, whatever. Vaso, our generation, the Montata, Bakwana, Mangana, Verata, Tobama also their activities. So that we can have a generation out of drugs.
Thank you very much. We was a the future of political parties, but Samatko Araguchi Bosigo, by Vago Jave, the one independent candidate in the Bataka room. Dora kwande piama na kusema toiro vya sema biaboniga akonepa ni timwengi ba kwa diaba ya sara na njotirta oyo karasensi ya China Frank Bible to batana kwa sema kamera Joshua to sema transmit ya mbakire mbema tu mena ditkuli angia somoro kwa beta aplikwa show kuna ile chikora ka chinsi sana ngira jambo wasoni ngora tera mangana maya kuna ndata wata ke minisku usim na Leta TV roba usi kirali tunda do korosera litko twaro buriru bi metaya yetariane Brighton Makori.